From the whispering pines to the serene lakes, the lands of Native America echo with legends of strange and formidable creatures. This is Pantheon mythology, and these are the creatures of Native American folklore. But quickly before we begin, you love mythology, so be sure to check out our clothing brand, Pantheon Apparel. Here you'll find epic designs inspired by mythology, folklore and legends. We ship worldwide and are rated excellent on Trustpilot. You'll find a link in the description. Now, into the wilderness. Starting things off with the Wendigo, one of the more famous yet haunting figures from Native American folklore, particularly among the Algonquian-speaking tribes, it embodies the dire consequences of cannibalism and the moral degradation that follows such extreme acts of survival. Legend has it that during harsh winters when food was scarce, individuals driven by desperation might resort to cannibalism. This act, believed to be an extreme manifestation of greed and a violation of tribal taboo, transforms the person into a Wendigo, a grotesque, ever-hungry creature cursed with an insatiable appetite for human flesh. The Wendigo is often described as gaunt, with the body emaciated to the point where its skeleton is grotesquely visible under tight, pallid skin, emphasizing its relentless hunger. The transformation is not just about physical but spiritual, marking the loss of one's humanity and the dominance of base, animalistic urges. As the Wendigo consumes more, it grows proportionally, ensuring its hunger is never satisfied, symbolizing the endless cycle of greed and excess. In cultural lore, the Wendigo also serves as a moral lesson and cautionary tale, warning against the dangers of selfishness and the importance of community, especially in times of collective hardship. The myth underlines the belief that extreme selfishness and isolation can lead to moral and physical decay. To combat such threats, some tribes believed in Wendigo hunters, warriors or shamans tasked with protecting their people from those overtaken by the Wendigo spirit, and even from becoming Wendigos themselves. The Skinwalker, known in the Navajo language as Yi-Nald-Lushi, meaning by means of it goes on all fours, is a figure of great intrigue and dread. These witch-like creatures possess the eerie ability to transform into various animals, including wolves, owls, and coyotes. This transformative skill is not merely a disguise but a tool that enhances their physical abilities, allowing them to move with heightened senses and exceptional agility. Traditionally regarded as malevolent entities, skinwalkers utilize their powers for sinister purposes. They are often depicted engaging in harmful witchcraft and dark spells, causing pain and misfortune to others. Their capability to mimic voices adds a layer of deceit, making them feared predators who can lure victims into traps by impersonating their loved ones. Discussing skinwalkers is often avoided. It is believed that speaking about them can attract their malevolent attention and bring bad luck. This highlights their profound impact and the genuine fear they inspire. The Thunderbird is a majestic and powerful creature depicted as a massive, you guessed it, bird whose wings create thunderstorms and lightning, often described with a wingspan vast enough to block the sun. Its feathers shimmer in a spectrum of vibrant colours reflecting the natural phenomena it controls, from storms to rains that nourish the earth. This magnificent bird is traditionally seen as a protector, using its formidable powers to fight evil spirits and ensure the safety of the communities under its watch. The Thunderbird is also deeply woven into the fabric of spiritual life, viewed as a guardian that interacts with the human world, providing guidance and protection. It's often invoked during ceremonies for its healing powers and its ability to bring balance and order through its connection with the weather. Across various narratives, it appears as a formidable force against malevolent beings, emphasizing its role as a preserver of harmony and a ward against chaos. Culturally, the Thunderbird symbolizes the supremacy of nature and the spirit world, representing transformation, power, and provision. The Piasa Bird, often depicted as a fearsome creature resembling a dragon, is renowned for its striking appearance and mythical tales associated with it. It is said to have inhabited the cliffs along the Mississippi River near present-day Alton, Illinois. This creature is typically described as having a body covered in scales, a face resembling that of a man, and wings that could carry it swiftly through the air. The Piasa Bird is feared for its purported habit of swooping down to snatch humans as prey. According to one legend, a native chief named Owatoga devised a plan to rid his people of the Piasa's terror. He used himself as bait to lure the creature into an ambush, where warriors armed with poisoned arrows awaited, ultimately bringing its reign of terror to an end. The Raven Mocker, one of the most feared figures within Cherokee spiritual beliefs, is a malevolent entity known for its sinister methods and the dread it instills in the hearts of those aware of its presence. This creature targets individuals close to death, aiming to prolong its own life by stealing their remaining years, which it achieves by literally consuming the hearts of its victims. The process is stealthy and undetectable, leaving no visible marks, yet the heart is completely removed from the victim's body. Raven mockers are notorious for their ability to disguise themselves, often appearing as frail old men or women, which allows them to approach their targets unnoticed. They operate mostly at night, adding to their elusiveness and terror they invoke. Those who possess the right spiritual knowledge and protective charms are said to be able to ward off these malevolent beings. In Cherokee communities, medicine men play a crucial role in protecting individuals from these creatures, especially during vulnerable times such as illness or near death. Mishipeshu, often depicted as an underwater panther or great lynx, is a formidable creature believed to dwell in the depths of Lake Superior. It is described as having the head and paws of a large cat, adorned with horns like a bison and a body covered in scales, reminiscent of a serpent or even bearing feathers. Its back and tail are notably spiked, adding to its fierce visage. This creature is known for its control over the aquatic elements, capable of stirring up storms, causing violent whirlpools, and even breaking the ice during harsh winters to claim its victims. Mishipeshu is respected and feared as a powerful guardian of the waters, particularly associated with certain sacred copper deposits believed to be under its protection. Legend suggests that this creature could unleash misfortune on those who dared disturb its domain or the natural balance it guards. Offerings, particularly of tobacco, are considered a way to appease Mishipeshu, ensuring a safe passage across the treacherous waters it governs. The Chenoo is depicted as a formidable ice giant, once human, transformed by either sinister deeds or the extreme act of cannibalism. Originating from the rich oral traditions of the Mi'kmaq and other Algonquian-speaking tribes, this mythical creature embodies the chilling extremes of nature and human morality. Described as gargantuan and fearsome, with a heart of solid ice, the Chenoo is a symbol of the perils and harshness of the northern winters. The transformation from human to Chenoo is marked by a heart that turns to ice, a metaphor for the loss of humanity and the onset of a ravenous, malevolent existence. The tales often depict the Chenoo as cannibalistic, feeding on humans to sate its endless hunger. However, these narratives also explore themes of redemption and transformation. In some stories, the Chenoo can be returned to human form if its icy heart is melted, typically through acts of kindness or exposure to warmth, highlighting the potential for change and the power of human warmth and compassion. Dzunukwa, also known as the Wild Woman of the Woods, is a complex and feared figure. She's often described as a giantess, twice the size of a human and covered in fur. She is said to live deep in the forests and mountains, carrying a large basket in which she kidnaps children, especially those who misbehave or wander off. Her signature call, an eerie "hoo," is believed to mimic the wind through the trees, signalling her approach. Despite her fearsome nature, she can also be generous, offering wealth and knowledge to those who can soothe or tame her. Dzunukwa's role in mythology is multifaceted. While she is feared for her cannibalistic tendencies and association with death, she's also respected for her knowledge of the forest and nature's secrets. Some stories describe her as dim-witted, easily outsmarted by the very children she tries to abduct, yet her ability to bestow wealth or even life-giving powers, such as the water of life, shows her potential for generosity. Uktena is a giant horned serpent from Cherokee lore, described as a fearsome and powerful being. According to legends, it is as large around as a tree trunk, with scales that glitter like sparks of fire and a crest on its forehead that resembles a blazing diamond, known as ulunsuti. This jewel was said to hold immense power, and anyone who could retrieve it would gain tremendous abilities, but attempting to do so was often fatal. The Uktena's gaze is said to be so mesmerizing that it could lure its victim closer rather than allowing them to escape. In some stories, the Uktena was created during a time of great sickness sent by the sun to destroy the people. A man was transformed into this monstrous horned snake and sent to kill the sun. Although he failed, the Uktena continued to exist, growing angrier and more dangerous over time. It's believed to dwell in isolated and treacherous locations like deep caves or high in mountain passes, keeping its distance from human settlements. The Rougarou is a fearsome werewolf-like creature from Cajun folklore, often described as a human cursed to transform into a wolf or dog-headed beast. This transformation is typically linked to breaking religious rules, such as failing to observe Lent or committing other immoral acts. The creature is said to haunt the swamps and bayous, prowling at night to seek out its next victim. Its eyes are described as glowing red, and it possesses sharp claws and teeth, adding to its menacing appearance. Physically, the Rougarou is depicted as a towering figure, sometimes standing up to 8 feet tall, covered in dark or black fur. It is known for its strength and speed, allowing it to move swiftly through the Louisiana swamps. In some stories, the Rougarou can pass its curse to others through a bite, continuing the cycle of transformation. One of the more interesting elements of the legend is the way to repel the Rougarou. Some believe that placing 13 small objects outside the door can confuse the creature, as it cannot count beyond 12. It will become so preoccupied with trying to count the objects that it will be caught by sunrise, forcing it to retreat. Damn you, maths. The Baykok is a malevolent, skeletal spirit known for its terrifying presence and ruthless hunting methods among the Ojibwe people. Described as an emaciated figure with translucent skin, it moves silently through the forests, especially at night, preying on warriors and hunters. Its glowing red eyes and shrill cries signal impending doom, instilling fear in those that hear it. The Baykok is relentless in its hunt, using invisible arrows or a war club to paralyze and kill its victims. Once it has subdued its prey, the Baykok is said to cut open the victim's abdomen and consume the liver, a particularly gruesome trait that emphasizes its ghastly nature. Remarkably, in some stories, the Baykok seals the wound after its feast, allowing the victim to continue living for a time, oblivious to the fatal damage. How thoughtful. However, the victim soon succumbs to illness and death, making its hunt not only terrifying, but inevitable. This creature's stealth and supernatural strength make it a formidable predator in the woods, capable of outmaneuvering seasoned hunters. It rarely ventures near human settlements, preferring the isolation of the forests, where it can continue its grim tasks. Water babies are mysterious and dangerous spirits believed to inhabit bodies of water such as springs, ponds and lakes. These entities often take on the appearance of human infants, and their cries are considered an ill omen. Some stories describe them as beautiful babies, while others depict them with fish-like tails or reptilian features. Despite their seemingly innocent form, interacting with water babies can lead to disaster, as they are said to lure people, particularly children, into the water to their doom. In some traditions, hearing the cry of a water baby foretells death, while other versions warn that those who attempt to rescue the infant-like spirits may face misfortune or be dragged into the water themselves. These spirits are said to be particularly vengeful, targeting those who disrespect the natural world or fail to offer proper reverence before entering their waters. Different tribes have their own variations of water baby stories. In Washoe legends, for example, water babies inhabit Lake Tahoe, where they are regarded as powerful beings who must be appeased with offerings to ensure safe passage. Similarly, in Paiute folklore, water babies are said to dwell in Pyramid Lake, luring people to their deaths with the sound of crying. The stiff-legged bear, also known as Kachitu Ashku, is a terrifying creature often described as an enormous, hairless bear with legs so stiff that it cannot bend its knees. This unusual anatomy forces the bear to move awkwardly through the forest, often leaning on trees to rest because it cannot sit or lie down. Despite its clumsy movements, the stiff-legged bear is a fearsome predator known to devour humans with ease. Its sharp teeth are said to be capable of crushing multiple people at once, adding to its fearsome reputation. One of the more distinctive features of this beast is its enormous size, sometimes compared to that of an elephant. Some researchers believe that the legend of the stiff-legged bear may have been inspired by the discovery of ancient mammoth or mastodon fossils, as these creatures had large, straight legs like the bear's stiff limbs. However, traditional stories emphasize the bear's carnivorous habits, unlike the herbivorous mastodons, and describe it as a vicious man-eater, hunting humans in the deep forests. Sasquatch, also known as Bigfoot, is a large, hairy, human-like creature frequently described as a powerful being of the forest. Most commonly associated with the Pacific Northwest region, Sasquatch is said to be anywhere between 6 to 9 feet tall, covered in thick hair and possessing immense strength. The creature is often portrayed as elusive and shy, preferring to avoid humans while inhabiting the dense wilderness. In some traditions, Sasquatch is a guardian of nature, representing a bridge between the human world and the untamed wilderness. Depictions of Sasquatch generally depict it as a solitary creature, communicating through whistles, grunts, or gestures. While it is predominantly considered as a benign figure in certain stories, there are other versions in which it is portrayed as malevolent and even dangerous. In some tales, Sasquatch is known to abduct humans, especially women, or play tricks on those who enter its domain. However, direct attacks are rare, and in most cases, Sasquatch remains a neutral presence, living alongside humans without conflict. Deer Woman, sometimes known as Deer Lady, is a shape-shifting spirit often described as a beautiful woman with the lower body or feet of a deer. She is primarily associated with the themes of fertility and nature, but her role in legends can shift dramatically depending on the situation. Deer Woman appears to men, luring them with enchanting beauty, particularly if they have committed acts of infidelity or disrespected women. Once entranced by her, these men are often led to their doom, either lost in the wilderness or crushed beneath her hooves. Nalusa Falaya, also known as the Long Black Being, is a shadowy, malevolent entity that is described as a tall and spiny creature with long, pointed ears and a shriveled face. It often moves through dense forests and swamps, slithering on its stomach or blending seamlessly into shadows. This ability to melt into the darkness makes it an ominous figure that lurks around dusk, preying on unsuspecting travellers or hunters who stray too far from safety. The creature's terrifying presence isn't just physical. Nalusa Falaya is also known for its power to instill deep fear and even cause misfortune or harm to those it encounters. In some stories, it bewitches its victims by sticking a thorn into them, rendering them capable of doing evil acts without their awareness. The cursed individual may only realize they have been bewitched when their own actions begin to bring harm to others. The Snallygaster is often described as a hybrid creature combining elements of birds and reptiles. With massive wings, sharp talons, and a metallic beak, this monster has been reported as having glowing red eyes and an eerie screech that sends shivers through those who hear it. Some accounts even describe it as having tentacles, which it uses to snatch up its victims, typically livestock or even humans, draining them of blood. The Snallygaster's origins are often linked to early German settlers in Maryland, where it evolved from stories of the Schnellegeist, meaning quick spirit, into a local terror. Though commonly associated with German folklore, it also has connections to Native American legends in the Appalachian region, particularly with the Thunderbird and other sky spirits. Tales of powerful winged creatures capable of causing storms and hunting from the skies may have influenced the development of the Snallygaster legend among settlers. The overlapping themes of skyborne monsters and mysterious large birds in both Native America and settler folklore helped create a fearsome hybrid figure. The creature's folklore spiked early in the 1900s when newspapers in Maryland ran sensational stories of sightings, spreading fear and fascination. It was even said to have laid large eggs in remote mountain regions, leading some to believe it could multiply. The Snallygaster's link to vampiric traits, such as sucking blood from its victims, further cemented its place as a feared creature. The Flying Head, also known as Kanontsistóntie, and linked to the Iroquois and Wyandot tribes, is a terrifying disembodied spirit with a large head covered in thick, dark hair and eyes that glow with a malevolent light. It is said to fly through the air, driven by an insatiable hunger and rage, often accompanied by sharp claws and fangs capable of tearing through its victims. Some stories describe the Flying Head as a monstrous being that stalks the night, beating its wings on the walls of houses and terrifying those within. Its appearance is often a harbinger of death, with a death typically followed soon after its visit. The origins of the Flying Head are linked to violent deaths, often from murder or other malevolent acts. This creature is believed to have been born from these tragic circumstances, cursed to wander as a vengeful spirit. It is particularly feared for its ability to move silently in its relentless pursuit of prey, often attacking those who are vulnerable, such as widows and orphans. In some legends, the Flying Head is associated with whirlwinds, amplifying its menacing reputation as a destructive force of nature. Bakwas, often called the Wild Man of the Woods, is a supernatural figure deeply connected with the Kwakwaka'wakw people of the Pacific Northwest, particularly on Vancouver Island. Often called the Wild Man of the Woods, Bakwas is a spirit of the forest and the dead. He is depicted as a skeletal, ghostly figure with long dishevelled hair, a hooked nose, and sunken eyes. Despite his frail appearance, Bakwas is a trickster with significant power over the living, often luring lost humans into the spirit world. Bakwas is infamous for offering ghost food, often in the form of rotten wood or insects disguised as dried salmon, to those he encounters in the forest. If a person eats this food, they are condemned to join it in the spirit world, becoming part of his ghostly entourage. He is closely associated with the souls of those who drowned, believed to be drawn into his realm through deception. This spirit is often described as shy, lurking in the shadows, and preferring the company of the dead. The Teihiihan, also known as cannibal dwarves, are small but vicious humanoid beings, often described as child-size, but possessing immense strength. These beings are said to roam the Great Plains and were particularly feared by tribes such as the Arapaho, Cheyenne, and Gros-Ventre. They were known for their aggressive nature, attacking anyone they encountered and consuming human flesh. Legend suggests they could move incredibly fast, and some stories claim they even had the power to become invisible. Despite their size, the Teihiihan were formidable in battle, believed to be nearly impossible to defeat due to their supernatural strength and warlike nature. Some accounts say that they had to be killed in combat to reach their afterlife. Their gluttonous behaviour, which included killing more than they could eat, added to their terrifying reputation. The tribes believed that the Teihiihan were eventually defeated in an ancient war, but their stories still serve as cautionary tales. As we conclude our exploration of the creatures woven into the fabric of Native American folklore, we've encountered beings that embody the spirit of the land, reflecting the rich traditions and beliefs of various tribes. Each creature offers a unique narrative, revealing the profound connection between nature, humanity, and the supernatural. These legends are not merely tales of the past. They resonate with the timeless themes of balance, respect, and the mysteries of existence, reminding us that every story holds a lesson, and every shadow in the wilderness may conceal a deeper truth.